All right, here is OFM wireframed in its entirety. Okay, OFM can be a real business, and I have this unique ability to look at any business in the entire world and take it from $0 and 0 cents to $100,000 per month. It's not fucking guesswork. It is a formula. It doesn't matter what it is in this life. There is an input and there is a direct fucking output. Let me give you some examples. If I add 1 plus 1, what do I get? 100% of the time, I get fucking 2. Okay. If I eat less calories than my body's maintenance calories, then guess what? The only thing that happens is I lose weight. Let's say I eat more. Guess what? The only thing that happens is I gain weight. Let's say I spend less than the money that I'm making. Okay, then guess what? I just saved money. Let's say I spend more than I spend. Every single fucking thing in this life has an input and an output. If I go to the gym, what is the only possible output is I get stronger. Okay, now there are some things that I can do to speed up each instance. Okay, let's say instead of just eating 1 calorie less, I eat multiple calories less. Let's say instead of eating 1 calorie more, I eat multiple calories more. Let's say instead of saving $1, we save multiple, or we spend less dollars than we're making. Let's say we spend more than, and then our bank account goes down. There's so many things in this life that the input. Let's say I go to the gym, and instead of hitting 1 set, I hit 2 sets. I can speed up the process, okay? If 1 plus 1 always fucking equals 2, it means that my business can go from $0 and 0 cents to $100,000 a month, depending on the speed at which I decide to do the fucking things that need to happen, okay? Let's say I take 10 months to do 1 plus 1. It takes me 10 months to get to 2. That means my business is going to hit $100,000 a month at the 10-month mark. But let's say I do it all in one day. Guess what? Then it happened all in one day. It has nothing to do with fucking luck. It has everything to do with science. I don't know if it's science, but it has everything to do with life having a fucking formula, okay? Now, I like to talk about traditional OFM being completely fucking dead because the business model has, how do I put it? The business model has some of the highest profit margins in like the industry outside of like, digital products and whatnot. And so we like to capitalize on that fact. Now, let's say you don't want to do the salary models. Let's say that's just not up your alley. You don't up your alley. You just simply don't want to do that. And so instead, you want to treat OFM like a real business. Now, every real business in the world, like I said, I could go and start a fucking lawn mowing business. Give me 30 to 60 days, and it would be the biggest business you could possibly think of. Okay. Now, the reason I can just touch anything and turn to gold is not because I'm just this unique, brilliant mastermind, which I am, but it's actually because I just understand the simple fucking formula. Now, let's say you are starting your OFM business and you are sitting here, you have $0 and 0 cents. All you need to do is simply prepare, okay? You cannot do anything until you prepare. Now, first and foremost, you're going to need models. You're going to need a chat team. You're going to need some learning how to optimize, and you're going to need some kind of marketing, okay? Now, first and foremost, we're going to start off with the marketing. And all you need to do now is just simply understand, okay? Now, really quick, I wireframed all of OFM, okay? Now, I did not wireframe extrapolations of marketing acquisitions. The reason why is because I can get really, really in depth. And the thing we're talking about here right now is gray hat at all whatsoever. And so let's actually start off with optimization. So as soon as you sign your first model, you need to have things that you can immediately do for her. You cannot sign a model and then not do anything for her. Otherwise, she's going to leave you. Okay. Honestly, you can't even sign a model with you being who you are. So you need to develop a character that can allow you to sign models. Okay. Now, in order to get there, you need to understand how the platform actually works and some things that you can immediately do for a model that are going to increase her earnings and increase her revenue, increase her likelihood of succeeding, etc. So just basic management, and everything that comes within management is just simply a chat team, knowing how to optimize her page, and then a little bit of marketing. But since we're taking, like the real business route, you do not need to overemphasize the marketing, because real businesses do not overemphasize the marketing, or like this kind of business doesn't need to overemphasize the marketing. All right. So all you need to do is understand that optimization of the OF page is simply understanding that the name is the hook, the bio is the ad, the profile picture, and the bio is the creative. So the bio, if you have a low key style model, then you need to keep those bios nice, short, and sweet. All right. Now it needs to just simply really look like she typed it. Nothing about, content, more about GFE or relationship. So if your girl is just simply just like a girlfriend next or a girl next door, if she's somebody low key, let's say you're doing some kind of warm traffic, which we'll talk about, you're going to need to piece all this together because it's going to be a lot. But let's say it's some kind of warm traffic, then you're going to want to keep it nice, short and sweet, depending on where the traffic's coming from. Like when we run Cupid bot, for an example, we already know that the traffic is pretty warm because Cupid sits there and it chats to them. So with that being said, we like to keep our bios very low key, short and sweet, make it look like the creator actually typed it. Okay. Now, on the contrary, if you have cold traffic and you need this thing to stand out, then it needs to be completely info based. Okay. It needs to be this is really great for cold traffic. Those hideous bios with all the emojis showing everything that they have on their page. Those ones with like cherries and fucking cock emojis going all over the place. Those are the bios that are great for cold traffic because you got to understand that when people come into an OF page, let's say from OnlyFinder or from Creator Traffic or wherever, then you got to understand that they do not care if this is agency based. They don't care who is managing the account. All they simply care about is the content that they can get. There are two different types of people on this platform. Okay. There are people that are actually convinced that they're talking to the model. Then there's people that are not convinced that they're talking to the model, but they don't care because they are simply just trying to get content. Okay. So you need to identify where is your traffic coming from, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. But based off where your traffic is coming from is the exact type of bio and account setup that you need to have. Okay. And if it's cold traffic, you got to understand that they do not care about the girlfriend experience. They want content. So you need to present to them what content it is that they're getting. Then you also have for cold traffic, which can also be interlinked with, warm traffic and whatnot, and just have a nice, really clean, aesthetic looking bio, clean, formatted properly, but still showcasing some of the stuff that they have on their page. Nothing crazy. Now, there are some non-negotiables within the bio. You need to have the age, you need to have their trait, whether it's, they have triple D cherries, whether they have a perfect this or a tiny little slit this. It doesn't matter. Just whatever their overarching trait is. I like to also always include some kind of response time. It doesn't necessarily need to say like 2 minutes, but just something along the lines of, I'm sitting on here. If you hit me up, I'm going to hit you back or something. Now, always include that they're not working with an agency, and then there's a lot of ways that you can format that specifically. Now, when we're talking about the captions on the content specifically, there are two ways. Once again, innocent and standout. Now, when I say innocent or low-key or standout, what we're talking about is cold traffic and warm traffic, okay? So innocent and low-key just needs to be basic and plain, literally look like a typical lazy fucking girl just typing these out, okay? Just literally a heart or OTTD outfit of the day or whatever. Just very basic stuff. Okay. Now all of this together is creating what's known as a visceral effect. Now, the reason why this is so just incalculably important is because when anybody lands onto your page, they're going to get a feeling for what exactly, is going to be on the page. They're going to get a feeling for what the vibe is going to be. Like, for an example, if you go to a WWE website, okay, and you may not know anything about WWE, but you're going to get hype, you're going to get amp, you're going to get an idea of what you're going to get. Now, let's say you go to a baby fucking Toys R Us website, you're going to get a feeling, you're going to get an understanding for what it is. It's going to be a lot more calm or more mellow, etc. It's the same with OF page, and the point of this is to set their emotions for them before they come into the page. Okay, this is so incredibly important that they know exactly what they're going to get before they go into it. Some guys are looking for the innocent GFE cute experience, whatever. That is how your page needs to feel. Now, some of them are coming in because they just want to do their thing. All right, then obviously the page needs to be a lot more aggressive and whatnot. So so like I said, moving on to the captions, if they're standout, like a cold traffic, whatever, talking about her, doing stuff to them, and then, horny ass captions. And then if they're, innocent and low key, like thing than just basic plain. Looks like a girl was, a lazy girl was typing them. Now, the name is something that can be absolutely fucking capitalized on. Now, if it's from warm traffic, you can just keep it short and simple. But what I would like to say is, okay, the name is the hook, the bio is the ad, the profile and bio is the creative. So these are things that you can add to your OF page to simply increase conversion. If you take a look at your tracking link and you are not getting 5 to every 15 to 20 clicks a subscriber, there's something brutally wrong with your OF page, okay? Now, this goes into an entirely different conversation, and I can sit here and I can ramble for probably 12 to 15 hours on this entire industry, and I'm not going to. I'm going to try and stick to the schedule, but so if it's warm traffic, keep it short and simple. If it is cold traffic, showcase models traits, like we talked about earlier, and then something along the lines of number one best or number one, or just it's a hook. It's a fucking hook. All right. Now, what I would highly recommend on the name is just, and I didn't add these, but what I'd highly recommend on the name is just capitalizing on, not just using basic ass names. Don't just put her name, whether it's an emoji or whether it has some kind of brackets. Like for an example, we always add the model's trait. We do, Sophie, boom, boom, tiny, perfect, something, okay? Just adding to the visceral effect. Now, make sure you always have a campaign. Now, you can run two different types of campaigns. You can run an urgency type campaign, which is where you're just simply automating the renew. Or urgency, where it's just simply having 10 claims left, okay? Now, what you can do is you can automate the renew. Now, there are some pros and cons to this. One, the pro is it does inflict urgency, but the cons is if the auto renew doesn't work, you're going to lose traffic, and sometimes it can't renew fast enough, and then there's just simply leaks in the actual traffic. Okay, now you can run a regular one, which is just sweet and simple, like new to OF, and then there's pros and cons to this. The cons is there's no urgency, but it's honestly not really needed with warm traffic, and then the pros to this is there's literally no traffic leaks, and it's great for warm. Now, there's also another setting on the OF page called a not fully private account. Not everybody has this, but the people that do have it, please go to your privacy settings on the OF page and then turn it off. Now, it'll say pin. Then what I want you to do is I want you to pin a post, and it's going to be something along the lines of watch me touch, okay? And then they're going to think that there's something, some kind of content being posted on the wall. When they go to the page, all this setting does is it allows them to see the captions and the posts, but the posts are actually locked, okay? So they can get an idea of what's on the page before they come into it, and you can capitalize on this by posting something along the lines of, watch me touch my da-da-da-da. And then they're going to think, oh, wow, there's literally content on the wall, but it's just the model teasing, and it will just simply boost the conversion ratio. Okay, now on the actual social media side of things, there's only a few components. You have the content, the link, the profile picture, the bio, and the fly, and then you can capitalize on a flywheel. But so content, don't do what everybody else is doing. Okay, have the creator simply make personality-based content, capitalize on different updates. Like for an example, when Trial Reels just released, it was fucking cooking. We were doing 250, 300, 400, 500 plus subs every single day, because when Instagram introduces a new when Instagram introduces a new tool or whatever to their platform, they simply push it very heavy. So Trial Reels right now, even now, are still pushing not hundreds of thousands, but are pushing thousands of subscribers daily. Now, when Threads released, Threads was absolutely fucking cooking. My roommates were just destroying on that platform. Then, when editing on the app became available, they were promoting content that was edited and recorded on the app. So just simply keeping that in mind. Now, the link, you want a deep link 100% of the time. There are 1.5 million different deep links. Bounce.ai, Get All My Links, Juicy Bio. There's 1.5 million different deep links. But what a deep link is it simply takes that person out of the Instagram browser and puts them into their native native phone browser where they're already logged into OF. This is the difference between every 150 click subscribers and 15 to 20 click subscribers, okay? Now, you want to make sure that it's pulling the location and has the percentage off on the page, on the actual deep link, landing page that it takes them to. Now, in regards to the OF page, okay, you need to make sure, or in regards to the PFP, the profile picture, make sure it's clean and easy to see, and capitalizing on the model's best part, the cherries or the this here. Now, and the reason why I'm even bringing any of this up, because when you get into content repurposing, it's going to hold very handy when you are repurposing on 10 to 20, 30, 40, 50 accounts. People are going to recognize the profile picture and it's going to inflate views. I know all of this seems obvious, okay, but the thing is, most of you guys are not doing it, okay? Now, bio. Clean, simple, looks real. Make it known that there's a link to click on, and then there is like some kind of flywheel effect where you know, every 5 posts, you know, you're essentially making consumers watch content to find any CTAs in the captions, which is like every 5 videos will tell them to look at your bio. Okay, so it requires them to actually scroll and binge watch your content in order for them to even realize that you have a link in the bio. And I know it sounds ridiculous, but it inflates your watch time and it capitalizes on fractional exposure and pushes the content out even more. Okay, now, cool. So I think we just covered social media. We just covered the actual OF page. Now, okay, so then up here for the OF page, looks like we missed a couple things. The banner specifically there's 2 different type of banners that you can have. You can have a standout or you can have a low-key banner, okay? If it's a standout, right, cold traffic, you want like that waifu Mia pose or the butt right on the damn screen, or naked covering your body parts and just simply showing a ton, okay? I have a rule of thumb when it comes to profile picture and banners. Banners are for the butt and profile pictures are for the cherries up front. Now, if it's going to be a low-key banner, then it's going to be a body pic kind of showing butt, maybe just laying down, just very basic, having her clothes on, you know, just enough to like be flirtatious, but nothing that's like showing too much. Now, in regards to the actual profile picture, like I said, cherries. If it's a standout one, this is great for cold traffic, something like a green ring or a colorful ring or some kind of hand bra or showing titties, or showing cherries. Now, if it is a low-key one, just a cute selfie, maybe showing a little bit of cleavage or a mirror picture. Now, the content and the like count on the actual OF page at the very top, low likes and content count, show that she's not established. This is neither good or bad, but it's great for warm traffic. You got to understand that people that are coming in from warm traffic not want to know that you are like whoring it out on the OF page. Okay, they do. This is all a part of the visceral effect, and it's so incredibly important that you make sure that your page undermines, or the undermining effect that you want to push is all in confluence with like whatever it is that you're going for. Okay, if she's low key, everything about it needs to be low key. If she's standout cold traffic, everything about it needs to be standout aggressive cold traffic. Okay, now high likes and content count means that she's established, is neither good or bad, and it's great for cold traffic. Okay, now warm traffic is not going to want to come here, and cold traffic is not going to want to come here. All right. Now, this just covers everything inside of the actual OF page specifically, which is perfect. So now that you have a full understanding of like how the OF page itself works and optimization of like the social medias, now what you need to do is you need to kind of get an idea of some different type of marketing strategies that you can do for her. Okay. Now, this is not something that you need to overthink, because when you're signing already pre-established models, which is what we're going to talk about, all you need to do is simply provide an excellent service. This means great communication. This means fast response times. This means you're solving problems for them quickly. You're optimizing their page, increasing their subscribers organically. And then you can introduce some kind of marketing strategies that aren't actually really going to bring in that many subscribers, but more or less just continue to make them happy. A lot of problems that agencies have is not the fact that they're not doing enough. It's actually more of the fact that they do not have enough transparency and communication involved in the actual management that keep the girls around. I mean, for an example, my roommates have a really bad time keeping models. Okay, I do not. My churn rate is, I don't even know they have a churn rate. I've never lost any models. None of my models leave me. It's very low. I think we maybe lost a couple, but the reason why is because I understand this core fucking piece is that it's not always about results. It's about communication or the lack thereof. But now when we look at all of these different pieces here, there are some things that you can do that are free or relatively really cheap, considering you have $0.00. So you can either run some kind of cold traffic or warm traffic. Okay. Now, with that being said, actually, let's go ahead and let's start down here. You can simply just give them guidance on the type of content, maybe that's keeping up with trending content, or simply, having them just do personality-based content. Some of our best creators on organic reels are not creators that are trying to follow trends. As a matter of fact, they're just showcasing their personality. Maybe they're a little bit on the bigger side, or maybe they're on the smaller side, and they're just making funny, interesting, amazing content that's just based around their personality. That is enough to pull subs and keep the account from actually getting flagged, because at the end of the day, Instagram is not trying to promote you, doing all of this jumbo stuff, which, keep in mind, I'm a gray hat trafficker, so everything I'm saying here is for a specific person that's watching this video, okay? Now, like I said, you can automate this whole process using Make in the future, which I make videos on all that type of stuff. Now, actual podcasts, when it comes to podcasts, a lot of these people will take you on for completely free. Whatever podcast, Myron's podcast, any podcast for that matter. Their team plus people who watch are going to do the clipping, and then you can also repurpose this content. And then when it comes to actually content repurposing, you can throw all of their content into TikFusion, and you can create some accounts on your iPhone and then just redistribute it there. Now, alongside that, you can also put have the model just create content for you, extra content, and put it in a Google Drive. And then you're just simply the distributor. You handle all of the annoying parts of posting. Creators more often than not, aren't opposed to just recording a ton of content. It's annoying trying to warm up the accounts and doing all that other stuff. Now, there's a different type of, there's two different types of traffic. There's warm traffic, and then there's cold traffic. Cold traffic is going to be like more paid advertisements. Warm traffic is going to be something that is giving that parasocial relationship style vibe to it, whether that's Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Reels, whatever it may be. And then cold traffic is just straight paid traffic. Okay. Now, what I'd recommend, if you have $0 you just simply give your model some kind of guidance on the content that she's posting, and only sign established models. Now, once we get done with that, we're simply going to talk about, once you actually know, once I sign a model, this is how I'm going to help her with marketing. This is how I'm going to optimize her page for the best possible conversion ratios. Now, all I need are actual models. Okay. So, when it comes to signing models, there's a few ways you can do it. You can, make an account, creator account you make. So this is an account that looks like a creator, but this is an account that you make. So this account literally looks like a model. You're going to update the name, the username, the profile picture, the content, the description. You're going to buy likes, views, followers, everything. You're going to make this page look like a real model, whether you're stealing content or whether you are using AI to develop the content. It does not matter. But this needs to look like a legit creator who's honestly pretty big, like, a couple 100,000 followers. And then she's going to do outreach. You're going to make friends. You're going to post comments. You're going to DM on these people, on these creators' pages. You're going to like their posts. You're going to follow them. And you're going to introduce, once you guys start to become friends, you're going to introduce, like the agency that you work with and whatnot. Now, the next one is you can use your personal account. The problem is this is very difficult because you got to understand that your page probably looks no different than the guys that hit her up every single day. So she has no, inclination to open up yours. So if you do use a personal account to do any kind of outreach, it needs to look established. It's very difficult, and everybody is reaching out to these girls. Your page just simply has to be built different. Now, models, on the reaching out from an agency account, it needs to look really established. You need to have big names, big claims. At the end of the day, this is once again going to be just as difficult as reaching on your personal account. So what I'd recommend is you do like a referral spiral effect, where you are just simply finding other people that are established and asking them to do the outreach for you in return for a percentage. This is exactly how we got started in our agency. We literally just found like 10 different guys on Instagram accounts, given that guys don't. I mean, here's our thought process. We can reach out to 100 girls and 100 of them not even see our DMs. Or we can reach out to 10 guys. 50% of them are going to see our DMs because guys don't get that many DMs. We're going to get a couple no's and then a couple yeses, okay? And then if they do the outreach for us, not only do they just know friends and then their friends know friends, but they can also do the outreach for us as long as our page just simply looks more established than us. So that's what one of the key things that we did is we made sure that the person that we were reaching out to do the outreach for us just had a very established page, okay? Or you can use a real creator account. Once you've signed your first model, simply ask her if you can use her her account to do the outreach. All right. Now, what I would recommend is once you start, bringing in some models, actually, we'll talk about that here in a minute. But then all you're going to do in order to find these creators to outreach to is go to Instagram, only find our creator traffic, social medias, doesn't matter. And then you can automate this scraping through make.com. But like OnlyFinder, for an example, literally has every single OF creator on the entire platform. Now, you are going to need a chat team. A chat team are people that are going to actually, chat on the page. Now, what I'd recommend is you do this for now. You start chatting on the page yourself. You learn the ropes. You learn what scripts are, what the girlfriend experiences are, and then you learn how to use some of the CRM. So there are some BuddyX, Inflow, Creator Hero. These are just tools that allow you to see more information on a page than OF allows you to see just at front value, like right on the front of the UI. Just simply makes the management a lot easier. Okay. Then you need to learn what scripts are, how you can just extract the most amount of money out of people, and then the girlfriend experience to attract whales. Then once you understand this, then you can decide whether you want to go into a chat agency, and there's 1.5 million of them, JPX, ChatStars. I mean, there's 1 million of them. And you can outsource the chatting to them for 15% of tips and messages. It's very cheap. Or you can take your models and you can put them, or you can, take your knowledge and your experience and move it in-house. If you're a workaholic, take your personal experience, hire people and teach them how to do that. Whether it's Americans or foreigners. If it's Americans, you got to pay them more. If they're foreign, then you only have to pay them a little bit, obviously. Now, once you have this, once you literally do this, once you understand how to optimize, okay, once you understand a general rule of marketing, you don't need to overthink it because you're only going to be signing established models. Okay, since you're only signing established models, these creators are simply going to already be driving in traffic. All you need to do is just amplify their traffic or amplify what it is that they're already doing. This is the best piece of advice anybody will ever tell you. In order to make some of these creators happy, you don't need to be the sole proprietary traffic provider on their page. All you need to do is simply amplify the work that they're already doing. So if I were to do this right now, starting from zero, what I would do is I would learn how can I optimize a page so that when fans do come to the page from her work, how can I make it to where the subs are simply increased based off of, what I've done to optimize the OF page. Let's say she has a 72 click to sub. What can I do to bring that down to 15? Because it means that she's going to do the same efforts, the same work, but it's going to increase her subs. And then once I understand that and I have that put in place, then I'm going to learn what are some ways that I can amplify what she's already doing. Okay. I can do this by repurposing her content, dumping all of her content into TickFusion, creating a bunch of Instagram accounts on my personal phone, starting to distribute those, sending her the links to them. She's going to forget about them in a couple months, but she knows that you're posting. All right. Then once I understand a little bit of marketing, I have an idea of exactly what I'm going to do. Then all I am going to do is start reaching out to people who can be my referrals for me. All right. I'm going to read my Instagram page. Doesn't look that good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find some established guys on Instagram and I'm going to reach out to them and I'm going to ask them to do the outreach for me. Alongside that, give them a 5% referral. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to immediately put all of my models and whatnot onto a chat agency so that I don't have to deal with it. Now, once I start making some money, I'm going to start automating a lot of these tasks. And then I am going to just continue to scale there. I'm going to teach people how to enable some of the marketing, and then I'm going to teach people how to optimize the pages. And then from that point forward, all my job is to continue bringing new models, hire an executive assistant to continue doing all of these tasks. But at the end of the day, this is a very, 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 very basic fucking business. Okay, if you were to wireframe it, all it is learn about optimization. Learn about optimization. Simply get referrals. Referrals do the outreach, sign models, and then amplify their efforts, right? Which is just going to bring in more traffic. And then, so I'm going to learn about optimization. I'm going to get referrals. I'm going to sign models. Okay, and then I'm going to amplify their efforts, and then this is going to simply spiral into crazy because they're going to be recommending people. Their people are going to be recommending people. Your referrals are going to be recommending people, and it's literally just going to spiral from that point forward. It's a very easy business model, and this is really the structure for every single business model, where you come in. You have no money. You literally prepare. You just learn the ropes of everything, and then you attack it one by one. Okay, this is everything. If you need like more intricacies, more prominent, marketing acquisitions or more prominent tools or whatnot, I do have an education program down in the link in the bio. This price is getting ready to go to like probably $8,000 here in the next couple months. Given that we're going to be moving into more of a coaching program, so anybody that's in the program right now is automatically going to be enrolled into the coaching program. But when it is a coaching program, it's going to be more around like $8,000 for the program. So I'd recommend that you get in now. Other than that, I am the most established and credible and verified OFM guru. Call me a guru in the entire space. But other than that, have a good one.